Hey everybody, welcome back to Limit Breaker Fitness. Monty here again. So today I want to show you my favorite way to prepare salmon. Before I show you how to cook it though, I do want to go over a couple of important points when it comes to salmon. First, with your salmon selection. Now, you always want to go with wild over farmed salmon. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with farmed salmon, but the wild is going to be a lot better. Now there's a few different kinds of wild salmon and it doesn't particularly matter. Get what you like or what you can afford. But the wild is going to be better because they're going to be a lot more nutritionally dense than a farmed salmon. See, the wild salmon, it's swimming around, it's survival of the fittest. It's out there foraging and looking for its own food. And it ends up getting this nice rosy pink color because of that food. It eats a lot of crustaceans and there are pigments in there that end up absorbing into the flesh, giving it this color. Whereas with the farmed salmon, unfortunately, that pink color ends up coming from additives that the farmers put into the food. I'm not saying there's inherently anything wrong with that. I don't know enough about that. I do know that the wild is also going to taste better because it's going to be a lot more nutritionally dense. It's going to have a lot more of those omega-3s that we're looking for, which is part of the reason why we aim to go for an oily fish like a salmon. Alright, so if you can afford it, go with the wild. I'm not going to judge you if you don't, but let's get to it.
Alright everybody, so to get started, we're going to grab a paper towel and we're going to make sure that we blot our fillet dry on all sides as well as the cutting board. See, it'll be really difficult to get that skin crispy if it's all wet. Now we're going to flip it over to that skin side and we want to score it about 1/2 inch deep on the thicker side of the fish. Normally I'm down with the thickness, but not in this case. What we need to do is reduce the cook time on that thicker side, otherwise the thin side of the fish is going to end up dry and the skin could end up burning by the time that the fish is cooked through. So this is also going to allow the fillet to sit flat in the pan and keep that skin in constant contact with it. That way the skin will also brown up nicely instead of curling up underneath and just steaming. Now go ahead and season the fish with really whatever you want. Dill goes really great with salmon, but I didn't have any on hand, so I'm just going to go with the classic salt, pepper, garlic. Just make sure that the seasoning gets down into those slits that we created. Now over on the stovetop, we're going to preheat our pan on medium to medium-high heat. Now don't use an oversized pan and don't go too high on the heat here. Fish is a much more delicate protein than meat or poultry, so always keep that in mind. Add about a tablespoon of olive oil, and once it's come up to temp, lay the fillet in and away from you with the skin side down. Now see how it seizes up a little bit? You're going to want to press it lightly. Don't crush it, but just press it until it relaxes and make sure that the skin is in complete contact with that pan. Now we're only going to flip it once through this cook, and we want to cook it 70% of the way on that skin side. What's great about salmon is you can see it as it's cooking. If you look at the side, you'll see that change in color as the heat penetrates up and the salmon cooks. Once it's about 2/3 of the way up, go ahead, give it a flip, and take a look at what you just did. You see that crispy skin? That's what we're aiming for. Now go ahead and squeeze some lemon juice over it, and this is going to do two things for us. The acidity is going to provide a fresh flavor, and it's going to cut through all the natural fat that's in this fish. Now, remember what I said about the thicker side taking longer to cook? To help it along a little more, we're going to move that thicker side towards the end of our pan, and we're going to tilt it carefully. Be very careful when you're doing this. Be very careful when you're doing this, and look at what it's doing. All the oil is pooling around it, and that's going to help it to cook all the way through. Once cooked through, place it on a paper towel lined plate and let it rest for a couple of minutes. This here was an 8-ounce fillet, so it's going to come in at about 460 calories with 46 grams of protein and 30 grams of fat. Of course, there's going to be 0 grams of carbs and 0 grams of fiber in it, but pair it with your favorite carb and vegetable and it'll make a great meal.
Alright guys, check out this beautiful piece of fish. Nice crispy skin, very well seasoned, cooked all the way through. It's very simple, very easy. You know, there you have it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I got a lot more content coming up. Also, I got my email down below. Send me an email. We can get you started with some personal training, get you on a meal plan, get you on a training program, and really help you see some results fast. All right? Any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be here all week.